What a cracking day! Welcome to Dartmoor National Park, famous for its tours, its wild animals, and every now and then a lovely little village. I'm here today with my wellies on. Now that means I'm going to do my favourite thing. I'm going to be photographing water. Ideally moving water, ideally water that's got a bit of power, a bit of energy and a bit of excitement into it. So let's crack on.
Now when I'm in a place like this, I tend to make three creative decisions in particular. The first is regarding shutter speed and its effect on the personality of what I'm shooting. The second is the direction of the water flow and actually how that can convey power or otherwise. The final thing I think about is my camera positioning, how close I want to be to what I'm shooting, and of course that's going to affect the other two bits as well.
Ooh. I think another good reason for having one of these things is that you can find out how deep things are before you literally fill your boots. Now the beauty of this area and quite a number of places on Dartmoor is that you have the option of shooting water but with some lovely gnarly trees that are covered in moss. Now to my friends across the pond, I am very aware that this does not constitute a big waterfall or a vast body of water. But what this kind of place affords me is adaptability. I can go in close and get those intimate water shots if I want to. I can go wider and try and incorporate much of the landscape. Dartmoor National Park has a number of different bodies of water. Some fast moving and full of energy, others very serene and you can see through to the bottom in lovely clear water, often surrounded by really impressive hills and tors. Today I'm going to be gradually making my way upstream, shooting various compositions at various shutter speeds, having a bit of a play so that I can make creative decisions about what I want my water to look like. I'm also going to be able to compare with you different shutter speeds so you can come along with that journey and actually understand why things may not work in certain settings. This is my first location. I'm going to be focusing obviously on the water, but that lovely gnarly tree and the rocks that are covered in the green moss either side. I'm just about getting the edge of that bridge in the background. Now I have a confession. I really like to see some detail in the water when I shoot, particularly if it's something like this. So I will aim for something like 0.3 to 0.5 of a second if it's this close. Now if I'm going to be shooting in a more intimate, smaller landscape, it might be that I want to have that ethereal whiteness going through my frame, in which case I'm going to do a longer exposure and that will really give me that effect. But here I've got a couple of things I need to take in mind. First of all, I've got just up there a really bright patch. I'm trying to eradicate as much of that contrast as possible, but also that's causing some reflection in the water, so I'm fully polarised to try and get rid of that stuff. Can you tell? I really love a waterfall. I may have mentioned that before. Now this is the view from the bridge that I shot earlier, and normally when I come here I like to shoot sort of down here on these rocks, really low down, so that you get the water cascading all over the rocks in front of it, and it really is powerful. But the water level is lower this time than it was last year.
I've put these shots side by side because I wanted to demonstrate the difference that the position of the camera can make. In the left-hand shot, we have one that is taken as low as I could go safely without falling in. On the right hand, we have one taken from the bridge. As you can see, the left-hand shot conveys much more power in the water than the right-hand shot. That was a creative decision I made at the time.
Cool. This is a bit juicy. Now, I was considering going down here, but I'm going to lose the separation of this. So actually, conveniently, I think it might be better if I do it from up here.
As if to illustrate my earlier point beautifully, the shot from up the top was pretty poor. The one from down the bottom was a little less poor. I'm not in love with this shot by any means. Now this is my last location of the day, and at this point the contrast was too much and my microphone had failed, so it wasn't the greatest moment. But it does give me a chance to show the effect of shutter speed on the personality of this waterfall. For me, the shorter shots retain detail. I like to get a feel for the journey of the water, whereas those longer ones start to erase the personality and the specialness of the falls. Now you may also have noticed that I like to have water coming towards me, whether it's in a river or a waterfall. I believe it feels much more powerful. I get a real sense of energy if it's coming towards me, whereas if it's going away, it just seems to melt off into the distance. I'm going to show you a few examples now. Well, there's no doubt that shutter speed, water flow and camera position are my three key decisions, whether I'm shooting moving water such as this or on the coast. I'd be really interested to hear about the creative decisions that you make in the comments below. In the meantime, thank you for joining me. If you've discerned value in what you've seen, please consider giving a like or a subscribe. And you know what? I'll see you next time.